guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're here in sunny San Diego, California for the first drive of this vehicle right next to me. What the heck is it? It's your 2025 redesigned Toyota Camry XSE. But before we get into the sporty trim of this iconic midsize family sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. Toyota, they're really on a rampage, going through their lineup, making redesigns, making updates, and bringing all new models to the auto industry. Now, what's fascinating is a lot of people have forgotten about the midsize sedan. That really was the go-to for so many families, so many people, and since the 1970s, believe it or not, the Camry has been around. Now, during that time, the auto industry has changed, and a lot of people are now aspiring to get crossover SUVs and full-on SUVs, and some brands are either eliminating the sedan altogether or cutting down on how many sedans they are producing. But Toyota and Camry go together like PB&J. So what I want to find out is, since they're continuing with this next generation of the Camry, is it worth the price? And is it better than the competition? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our heavy metal. I love the name of this color. I love the look of this color. Heavy metal Camry XSE, and find out. Right off the bat, all new sheet metal. You'll notice at the front of the business, they went through their headlight design and they revamped it to make it look more like the Toyota Prius, more like the BZ4X. You'll notice the LED daytime running lamp that is bright white. That's during the day. At night, it's actually amber, because this is also the turn signal. But what they decided to do is that the bright white looks so good during the day, why not have the amber that's easier to see illuminate at night as your daytime running lamp, as your DRL. That to me shows that attention to detail. Now, if you like double stuffed Oreo cookies, they have a double stuffed, double stack, new style to their headlight design, full LED projector beam headlights. Working our way down, functionality is the name of the game, and they bring a ton of functionality in these corner air curtains with some gloss black. Look at how they brought the extended splitter on the corners out. That shows the attention to aerodynamic efficiency. Now remember, this isn't meant to be some flat out track car, but aerodynamic efficiency plays a big role in range. It also plays a big role in how the vehicle handles, even when it is a family sedan like this new Camry. Now, as you come across the front, this is their new signature style of design. I like the way they went body color on the XSE trim with that heavy metal gray. You have full functionality in this lower portion, and then you'll see the body color lip. Definitely more aggressive than the previous generation. Let me know how you're feeling about this. I feel like in heavy metal, it looks really awesome. In some of the other colors, it might be a little too much. But let me know if you're liking the body color, new grille, and also look at the way they run the design into the actual front fascia itself. Really gives it a nice look. But if you're comparing this to the competition, this definitely looks more aggressive. On the XSE trim, you're getting a forward-facing camera that's flanked by more functionality in that front fascia. As we rise up, the Toyota badge, it's been dropped in a little bit, sunken in there, looking good. And then the way they did the hood, it actually has a rise that disappears. It actually goes down and everything evaporates. All these body lines evaporate as you get towards the windshield. But having that V style there really shows almost like a sense of motion. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not the biggest NASCAR fan, but these do look really good in their cup car form, these new Camrys. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. When you go XSE, you're getting a special wheel. Dark, polished aluminum finish with the gloss black all the way around. It's a 19-inch wheel in diameter by 9. So 19 by 9 inches with this wheel setup. Tires are 235 on the width with a 40 series sidewall. They went through and revamped you actually have all new suspension bits, including the shock absorbers for the XSE, to give you that sporty feel, that responsive feel, but also a comfortable feel as well. And then what you'll find is that your brake rotors are a consistent size all the way around, 13 inches all the way around. They beefed up the brakes, the suspension, and made the chassis more rigid. But let me know how you feel about these wheels with the heavy metal color. I'm really digging it. You'll also notice how that splitter curves up into a dive plane on the side here for that airflow. Like I said, they really worked on airflow management. Coming down the side of the vehicle, you do have your gloss black on the XSE trim, mirror caps with your teeny tiny turn signals built in. This particular one has the optional two-tone roof. And let me tell you how they get to this point. First of all, it's a nice blue metallic. It's black, but it's got some blue metal flake in it, just like your grandpa's bass fishing boat. And then you'll also notice that we have a panoramic roof. So not only do we have the two-tone roof, but you have a panoramic roof. And for this new Camry, for the first time, you could actually get a hybrid and get it with a panoramic roof. That was not like that on the previous generation. This XE, though, with the two-tone, looks fantastic. The way they paint this is they actually paint the whole body, then they have people tape it off at the factory, tape off the whole car, and send it through for the two-tone coat. And look at the way they did the line. It actually comes to a knife point right on the end there. I gotta wipe. I'm starting to slobber a little bit because I'm drooling over the style of this thing. But the way they brought the paint into a fine tip actually shows, like I said, that attention to detail that maybe you didn't have in the previous generation Camry. But you'll also notice on the side that airflow management, the way that you have your kind of carved lower area, the side skirt extension, even the way that it kind of tapers as you get to the rear tire. Now what's great is all the trims, whether you go LE, SE, XSE, or XLE, can be front wheel drive or also optional all wheel drive. So you have that choice. No longer do you have to go with a top trim to get all wheel drive. You can get it even on the LE trim. Now when you swing it around back, just like we talked about up front with the lighting, everything on the XSE illuminates. So this part illuminates, all down in here, it's full LEDs. No Thomas Edison light bulbs on the XSE trim. You're also gonna get this nice gloss black trunk mounted spoiler. And then the way that they took the Camry name and brought it into the trim, looks clean. Of course, you got the XSE badge. This is that sporty trim. And you're gonna find out this is the new badging for the hybrid vehicle. So this is a hybrid electric vehicle. That's what HEV means. And what's fascinating is that's one of the reasons why on Toyotas, you won't see the blue around the Toyota badges anymore, is because guess what? They're all becoming hybrids. So that's where they decided to come up with this badge. On the lower portion, I love the way they did the lower diffuser. Not a bunch of gloss black all over the place. And I'm gonna have Steven kind of work all the way to the corner because you're still gonna get that dual outlet staggered tip exhaust with the stainless steel tips on the XSE trim. So it's nice that you're still getting specific details depending on what trim you're getting. But let's pop the hood and talk horsepower, or better yet, fuel economy of this new Camry. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. Underneath the hood is that 5th gen version of Toyota's hybrid system. So no longer is there a V6 offered. So definitely get in the comment section, let it all out. There's no longer a V6. So if you're upset about that, put that in the comment section. But what you have is a choice. You have a 2.5 liter inline 4 that is paired to 2 electric motors to produce 225 horsepower. Now, the choice is not a V6. The choice is, are you gonna go front wheel drive or are you gonna go all wheel drive? If you stick front wheel drive, that's the 225 horsepower. If you go all wheel drive, then it's gonna be 232 horsepower, both paired to a CVT, but here's where you're really gonna win. MPGs on a front wheel drive, 48 in the city, 47 on the highway. That's on the XSE trim. If you go all-wheel drive, it's 44 on the highway, city, 43 on the highway. If you go with an LE, which is the base trim, an LE will get you over 50 miles per gallon. So that's the great news about that. And having, like I said, the larger brake rotors, the different suspension is really going to allow you to be able to drive and feel connected and confident. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see it roll. All right, guys, we are inside this all-new 2025 Toyota Camry. This one is the XSE front-wheel drive. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I resist. I resist at all costs. I'm not getting a damn SUV. I want a sedan. I need a mid-size sedan because I got some kids. I got some people I need to haul around and all the crap that they have. How much is this? Very good question. Now, remember, starting price, LE front-wheel drive, that's the base one, the entry one, has an MSRP of $28,400. That is less money than what the previous generation started at. And guess what? Every price point for the new Camry is less money than the previous generation. When do you hear that ever happen? Usually when there's a new generation, prices go up. Now with this Camry, prices have gone down. This particular one, front-wheel drive with the two-tone and all the other goodies, you're looking at an MSRP of $39,600. Not too shabby. Let's see what they're bringing for the money to the door panels. I love the two-tone style. You have that perforated soft text material, looking really clean, really sleek, soft touch material up top. And then what's really great is that guess what? You're going to have no gloss black on the door panel, even around the switchgear. On the armrest, it's soft to the touch, and it's got the red stitching. Door pocket is a decent size. You maybe get just one In-N-Out burger and a can of root beer to wash it down. We do have the JBL premium sound system. And then going from the door panel to the dash, this is all new for 2025. So you'll notice how they did this design with the trim. Even though it's gloss black, don't stress because you're not really going to be touching this. The AC vents are hidden nicely within that trim. And you'll even notice like on the manual control there, you can see how they put like a little bit of artistic design, mimics the front of the car. The red trim is unique to the XSE, what you're seeing here in red. This one just happens to have the optional red interior. But each trim will have different material to create a different personality. Sliding on in, standard infotainment system is around 7 inches. Guess what? We have 12.3 inch in this Camry. It's got the new multimedia operating software. I've shown this to you. You could bring up your climate controls, do it right on the screen, or there's other ways. I'll show you how to do that. You could also go into your comfort and adjust heated steering wheel. But then the big news is where you're able to set up driver settings, driver profiles. So everybody has their own unique profile. I think that's really smart. It's got over-the-air updates. We throw it into reverse. Look how good the resolution is on the cameras. Finally, they're bringing some nice resolution on these Toyota Camrys. Wait your 360, put it back in the park, and then now we have our toggle switches. 3 stages of ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats. You got your dual climate control. I love these toggle switches, real nice, easy to use. They feel good every time you touch one. And the cool thing is that if you say you get an LE, which is the base, they don't give you dead buttons. What they do is they actually redesign the screen to take up all the room. That is a nice touch. You have your power on button because this is a hybrid, and we do have a real volume knob, which is really important as well. Down below, you have wireless charging. Deep within there, I don't know if Steven could show it, you have a USB-A, 2 USB-Cs, and a place to put one of those pickles in a bag. the bag of pickle juice, keep that right there. 2 cup holders. This is going to control your CVT transmission. No more 8-speed and no more V6. You got your 3 different drive modes, EV mode, and then of course, the Camry key fob. We're in car unlucky 13, and trust me, it's been unlucky today with the amount of people that have ruined our shots. But you still have all the same good buttons on the back, especially that one if you want to play the red horn. Speaking of red, more red stitching, that soft text. Open it up, guess what? You got a 12 volt, and you have enough room in here, I would say, for 14. If you're feeling nostalgic, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. My dad used to take me out to Coney Island when I was a kid, and we would always get a Nathan's hot dog. We would ride the Wonder Wheel, which is the Ferris wheel there. We would also ride the Cyclone. Then we would get our Nathan's hot dogs. You could keep 14 Nathan's hot dogs in there. That's how big the space is. I miss those days. Those were, what I like to say, the good old days. Seats, the red. The red is fantastic. They redesigned the material. They redesigned the frame of the seat, the bolstering. It is power adjustment for the passenger, power adjustment for the driver. And I'm digging the red. First time you can get this nice red interior in a Camry. And then you have your power shade for that panoramic roof. Really, really nice. One touch operation so you can eat your Nathan's hot dog. And then of course, we have the rest of the space in here. Just everything organized very well. Why don't you come over here to the business end though? I got a new steering wheel and a new digital display in this Camry. Come on over, I want to show it to you. All right guys, business time behind the wheel. You don't get a nice cool sill plate, so I'm kind of missing that. Just a nice little extra touch. Would have been nice to say XSE or Camry, so that's a zonk. Pedal box though I love. I love the aluminum brake pedal, aluminum throttle. I just wish the dead pedal was aluminum. But I do like the way you have your seat controls, easy to get to. I think the one thing that you're probably gonna want to zonk is gonna be that there's no memory seat settings. So let me know if you think that should be a zonk. I'm kind of okay with it, but it would have been nice to have 2 memory seat settings, especially since, like I said, they redesigned the seat itself. The cushion is now longer underneath your hammies, your hamstrings, and they redesigned the actual frame of the seat. I'm 6 feet tall. I feel great in here. Steering wheel, new style. I do like the leather. I do like the red stitching. I'm not crazy about the horn button. It's better than it was before. Just put some stitching on it. I think that would have just been a nice touch, but I like the flat black on the switch gear. You do have paddles to go through simulated gears, and it is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then of course you have that 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. Nice clean graphics. You could actually make tons of adjustments to the vehicle. Plus when you go into the different modes, like sport, check it out. There's your Camry XSE. And that's gonna adjust how the steering, the throttle sensitivity, all those goodies. But there's your 3 modes. You wanna hug a palm tree out here? You don't need to do it. You could just go into eco mode, and it's the same thing as hugging a palm tree. So nice that they have that set up. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat. Because guess what? We have 16 JBL sound system speakers. Let's get in the back seat, see how much room there is and where the speakers are located so that you can share the tunes with the people in the back. Let's get to it. All right guys, back seat time. And once again, this Camry really flexes its muscle. It's like, yeah, lots of back room space in here for your passengers. You have large pockets with all soft text material. In these pockets, you could easily put, I would say, 4 San Diego pretzels in there. If you're wondering what's a San Diego pretzel, it's a hot pretzel with salt and then guacamole smeared on top of it. It's really tasty, I promise. The back of the command center here is you have your 2 AC vents, which are nice, and a USB-A and a USB-C. So they got you covered there. I'm 6 feet tall, like I said, feels great in here. Even the way that I have plenty of room away from the headliner. And then yes, you're still gonna get, look at this. Ooh, it's like a freaking trampoline, it's like a bounce house. 2 cup holders, flip it back. But why don't we go ahead and get in the trunk and see how much room there is in this new Camry. Another great thing about this Camry is, of course, the usable trunk space, even with it being a hybrid, because remember, you have that lithium-ion battery pack with the hybrid setup. Even with that lithium-ion battery pack, you're gonna be greeted to 15.1 cubic feet of space. I know it's very dark back here, but I promise you, you pull these levers, the seats do a 60-40 split. I like the way you have these large nooks for a couple gallons of yoo-hoo on both sides. And then underneath, do we have a spare? Let's see. We have a spare. So think about that. Sport trim, hybrid, and you have a usable trunk, and you have a spare. But why don't we go ahead? If you're ready, I'm ready. This is the first drive. This is the event you've been waiting for. Let's go ahead, let's get in and go on throttle in this XSE new Camry. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Toyota Camry XSE. And right away, what you're gonna find is that they really did a heck of a job when it comes to sound deadening, the thickness of the glass, and all the materials in here. A lot less noise entering the cabin, especially wind noise. I think that's the thing you're gonna notice right away, is that there is a really, really low amount of noise coming into this cabin. So I definitely have to applaud Toyota for that, because I'll be honest, on the previous gen, I mean, that was something that that would happen, and you would hear that wind noise and it would get really annoying. Another thing that I really, really love about this new generation of the hybrid system is that you're not noticing any on and off whatsoever when it comes to the engine turning off and the engine turning on when needed. That to me really shows the attention to trying to, you know, quiet the driving experience and make the driving experience a smoother driving experience. Let me do a quick on throttle here, because like I said, we don't have a V6 anymore, but we do have the hybrid. Here we go. On throttle. So you're basically looking at 0 to 60 in about 6.8 seconds. And obviously compared to the V6, it's slower, but this is the front wheel drive model. We're gonna be doing a separate review, driving review of the all-wheel drive model, because the all-wheel drive model has a little bit more than 230 horsepower. Still a far cry from the 301 horsepower of the V6, but with the electric motor assist, that's definitely gonna help you off the line. Give you that instant torque from the electric motors. There's 2 of them in this new hybrid system. But going over bumps, very, very smooth, very controllable. All of the inputs, I feel like they just polished everything up. Like one of the things that I always found in Camrys compared to, say, a Honda Accord, is that the steering was just a little numb. Here, you're getting a little bit better steering. You're getting better feel, better feedback. Let's go on throttle again. So I have it in sport mode. Let's do manual shift. Here we go. On throttle. So you have those simulated gears that help bring down that engine drone, right? And that you normally get in a CVT, and here you're not getting it. Now, the acceleration felt a little bit quicker, maybe, but still, I would say 6.8, right around 7 seconds. Not the fastest, but like I said, where the Camry is really, really coming into play is, especially this XSE, is gonna be in the handling, in the braking. This is really where it does such a good job. I mean, look at this. Really, so much more composed. And then the suspension. It's crazy how you're getting the better handling, but you're not getting your internal organs just like shaken up, which is great, because nobody wants that. Everybody wants to keep their organs unless they're going to donate them to somebody. But how they work that new shock absorber technology really is showing on these side streets in San Diego, because I'm not getting a lot of bumps and vibration in the vehicle. Getting to that 12.3-inch infotainment system screen, well within reach. The toggle switches like I showed you, all of the storage, and then that nice large 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. You know, it's one of those things that I feel like this vehicle you could drive forever because of just how comfortable it is. I mean, the way the seats are, the steering, the great visibility out the front. You got your Toyota Sensing 3.0 technology, making it real easy to drive. And then, of course, the handling characteristics. I mean, watch this. The body roll is non-existent. I mean, and we're in the front-wheel drive model. I mean, that was quite telling right there, the way that we were able to build speed within that corner and actually keep the suspension and the chassis very balanced and very smooth. That is all of the work that they did into the chassis work and the suspension work. All right, guys, now I want to get out on the highway and show you how that drive is going to be. Are you ready? On throttle. Love the large head-up display, super clear, all the information you need, and just really, like I said, it handles well, but it also drives well down the road. And when you cut out the noise and vibration that enters the cabin, you're gonna be less stressed. You're gonna be fresh like a daisy getting to your destination. And that's what's great about this new Camry. You got your blind spot technology, you got your lane keep assist, emergency brake assist, backup assist. So they got you covered when it comes to safety technology with this Toyota Sensing setup that they have in here. But like I said, here we are cruising down the highway, and it just feels good. Feels nice and smooth, controllable. And then you have the room for plenty of people in the back seat and all their junk. You know, if you're concerned that you're not going to have enough passing power or merging power, I think you're going to find that even with the front-wheel drive setup, I have not felt like that one bit as I've been getting onto the different highways and bridges and everything else that we've been navigating around with on this vehicle. So, you know, it's one of those things that I think until you get behind the wheel, you won't really appreciate what they've done with the powertrain in this vehicle, especially to give the numbers of efficiency that it does. And the Camry costs less across the board. So really awesome the way they were able to bring this all together so nice for the 2025 Camry. And then of course we have a great view over this amazing bridge in San Diego. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of what changes Toyota has made to the Camry, especially the XSE. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day out here in sunny San Diego. Definitely want to thank the whole Toyota team for having us out so that we could bring the first drive of this vehicle to you. Let me know what you think. You heard the numbers, you heard what the fuel efficiency is, and you also got to see everything that Toyota is bringing on this new Camry. Is it worth the price? Is it as good as the competition? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Of course, we need to give it up to the man that's holding down the fort, Stephen Flood Photography, working that camera like a champ. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.